German Chancellor Angela Merkel will visit Russia on Friday for talks with Russian President Vladimir Putin. It might sound like business as usual for two of the world's most powerful leaders, but there's more to it than that. Russia and the EU have been caught up on conflicting sides of international conflicts for years now. Relations between the two sides have been tense at best, but the tide might be turning. Top European leaders are signaling a change in their relationship with Moscow after US President Donald Trump chose to undermine them with the decisions he's made.
We can see we have on one side the United States and its strong allies around the world, particularly in the Middle East, Israel and Saudi Arabia. Then in the Far East we have, of course, Japan and partially Australia being the key allies of the American strategy in the area.
The last time Merkel was in Moscow was early last year. Her latest visit comes after Trump withdrew from the Iran nuclear deal. Many leading European countries do business with Tehran, so when Washington reimposed sanctions on the country, their interests came under threat. Still, the bloc says it remains committed to the deal. But it's not just the Iran nuclear deal. Trump has also broken with a key international principle of the Middle East peace efforts by moving the U.S. Embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem al-Quds. Europeans are also angry with tariffs on aluminum and steel, which the Trump administration has imposed. For now, Washington has exempted EU producers from the tariffs, but the reason behind the measures has upset America's European allies. The EU and US are friends and partners. Therefore, US tariffs cannot be justified on the basis of national security. It is absurd to even think that the EU could be a threat to the United States. Trump has been completely open about his contempt for Europe, especially Germany. On Thursday, he strongly criticized the bloc and its powerhouse over trade and NATO spending.
Germany has not contributed what it should be contributing, and it's a very big beneficiary, far bigger than the United States, frankly. It's very hard for us to sell our cars into the European Union, but the European Union, in this case Germany, has its Mercedes and its BMWs and its cars pouring into the United States with no barriers.
But let me repeat, we will not negotiate with the sword of Damocles hanging over our heads. It's a matter of dignity and it's a matter of efficiency.
As it stands, the Europeans have decided to look to Russia for support. Merkel recently went as far as saying that Europe can no longer depend on the US to protect it.
Now the European Union was used to a sort of a prolonged post-Cold War situation, and therefore it has been brewed within the umbrella of the United States security structure, NATO. All of this is now being put under question, because if the United States is adopting decisions unilaterally, not even consulting the European partners and allies.
President of the European Council, Donald Tusk is the most outspoken European leader when it comes to President Trump.
We are witnessing today a new phenomenon, the capricious assertiveness of the American administration.
It seems now Germany is on the move to win Moscow's support. Newly appointed German Foreign Minister Heiko Maas has been quoted as saying, "We need Russia as a partner to settle regional conflicts, for disarmament, and as an important pillar of multilateralism. We are therefore open for dialogue and are trying to rebuild trust bit by bit if Russia is ready."
The economic interests of major players, Germany is one of them, but Italy is another one, and France, towards both Russia, Iran, China are very high. So it is very difficult to imagine that these states would accept a foreign power. although an ally, to decide for their foreign policy.
The next EU leader to visit Moscow will be French President Emmanuel Macron. He's due in Moscow in late May. Analysts are predicting that a rapprochement between the bloc and Russia could be the unexpected consequence of Trump's decision in alienating the EU.